Hello and welcome our viewers to another episode of your show Hobbies Catalog. For today's episode, our hobby will be motorsports, and I have a special guest, Mr. Sulaiman Al-Fadil. He will tell us everything we need to know about his hobby and his cars. And now, without further ado, let's begin. Welcome back, our viewers. Right now, I have with me Sulaiman Al-Fadil, and you are a mechanical engineering, right?
Yep.
For how many years?
Well, since 2000, I graduated from Florida Atlantic University, in the States.
2000.
Yep.
That's almost 23 years.
Yes.
And how do you feel practicing your hobby and making your hobby is also your career?
Well, actually, my hobby builded my career. I started at a young age, around 9 years old, when I started this hobby, when my father bought me the small go-kart. It's a small buggy, a cart. And from there, we started to pick up and enter the go-kart business, the small go-kart racing. And in 1995, when I went to the States to start my study career, I started my professional career there with a smaller car than this. It was the 12-second car. And I'll explain the 12-second car and 10-second car and the 4-second
Smaller than the blue and the red one?
Yeah, it's a Mustang. Basically, it's a street car with little modifications on it.
And you have your hobby more than 23 years ago.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
in 23 years ago, you graduated from the university, right?
Yes.
So your hobby is motorsports with cars and upgrading cars.
Upgrading, building cars. Actually, this car on my right, the Sierra, we built it during the pandemic. It was built at home.
2 years ago.
Homemade. Most of it was built from parts in Kuwait. We doubled the chassis, we changed the suspension, we changed the engine, we changed almost everything in it.
I saw it. It was only the tires.
Yes.
You build it from zero, and how long it took you?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Building it from scratch.
Yeah.
You and your friends.
Me and my friends and my cousins and also the family, kids, everyone participated in it. It's a thing that bonds the family and friends a lot. When they work together, they call you, how far are you, how can we improve, how can we help you on these things.
Whatever they need, they ask you, and whatever you need, you'll ask them.
Yep, definitely.
That's the perfect group that you need, the perfect support.
Yes, it's a mix between friends, family, and also, this sport, a lot of people don't know it's a team sport. It's not a race driver and that's it. Behind the race driver, there is a team, and behind the team, there is a bigger team. Just a small example on this. Now, on this car, I have a team of 5, and on this car, I have a team of 3. But this is the team for the race. The actual team is our BMRC team, which is our Basel Motorsport Club, and they support us with all the mental and sometimes the financial support.
All the thanks for the team, all the thanks for the support that they give you. But I didn't understand first. So you have your own team for the blue car, for the drag, and the red GMC Sierra. You have another team that specializes in that car.
Yep, that's correct.
Why there are separate teams?
Because the things on this engine and the setup on this car is totally different than this car. This is the Pro Mod and the higher or the big professional series. This will be the startup of the pro sessions. This will go on this weekend. We're going on a race for this one's going to go for the 6-0. This one we couldn't get the Pro Mod series because there is not much cars in Kuwait, and the series that's below the Pro Mod is the 4-0, and still there is not much, so they're gonna go with the 4-5. Now, when I say 4.5, it seems it's more than 4.0, but actually in racing, when you cut the 8th mile, which is 200 meter, in less second, that means the car is faster. So this car usually cuts the 8th mile, which is the 200 meter, in around 290 kilometers speed.
200 kilometers speed.
290.
And 90. And how many? In 200 meters?
200 meters.
That's a lot.
Yep.
Seriously, that's a lot.
And this one, the 200 meters, you will get it with 160, so almost half.
You said that there's a pro mode and there's not too many cars like this one that you can race. And that's why it will not participate in the next races because there's no enough cars.
As a series. This will participate on lower series. You know, the series, you know, the biggest one is the Pro Mod, and then the 4.0 for this car. And then the 4.0 index, where you have to cut the distance in a exact 4 seconds. And the series that's below the 4 seconds is the 4.5. The 4.5 is slower. So in the 4.0 you'll do 290. In the 4.5 your speed will be 250. On the 4.8 your speed will be 220, and so on. You know, when you increase the time, you decrease the speed.
What if I want to ask you? You have to choose between racing or being a mechanical for the cars, build and repair.
You can't separate them. The enjoyment of both.
We
are
can
together.
separate them. You have to just, okay, let's say that if we want to ask you, seriously, what's the closer to your heart? Is the speed and the rush when you accelerate still on your heart more than repairing and your philosophy on building?
At a time, I would say racing would be more, but with time, you know, the fun of building cars and seeing them perform good and getting results and trophies, it makes you happy. But the adrenaline rush, this 4 seconds, you
cannot leave it.
You cannot leave it.
You cannot leave it.
It's so difficult. It's something that's in your blood. You can't get it out.
It is. You cannot leave it, definitely. I mean, personally, I practice my hobby, ice skating, ice hockey. I cannot travel without my ice hockey. The ice skates, I cannot travel without it. If anyone tell me, like, Abdullah, if you're going to travel without it, I would never travel. And you have also, you built the car and you told me that this car, there's only one of it in Kuwait.
Yep.
Right?
This is the red one, actually.
Also the red one.
The red one, there is no GMC Sierra 79 drag car in the whole world.
In the whole world?
Yeah, and this car was built, you know, one of one. It's a handmade car from scratch. It was built in the state, of course, by Jerry Haas. You can find similar shapes or similar things, but as a total car, you will not find a similar exact car, a copy car. There is no, it's built this way, and it's one of one.
You helped building it or no?
No, on this one, no. This was
really complicated, I think.
Yeah, it is.
But you took the liberty and to build your own car,
Yep.
Which is the 79.
Yes.
And what's the special thing with the 79 Sierra?
Well, it was on a spare time. We built it, and we had a lot of fun building it. As I told you, family, friends, cousins. The idea of, you know, the shape of this car is not a drag race shape.
It is. Well, when I first came here and you told me that this is the drag race, I said no. It has to be a classic car.
Yeah,
That's it.
It looks like a classic. So
I didn't believe it.
So the idea was that, you know, why not classic car to become a drag race? You know, well, okay, some of them in the world they do have trucks, not like this one, but the idea, I saw it in the state and other places. Some of them they use it as drift or different kind of racing. But as a drag race on the 79, the 250 to 2500, 79, there is none. I haven't seen, you know. So I decided to go for it, and when we participated the first time, it got a good hit, you know. A lot of people liked it, and it was filled with the media, you know, on Instagram and everything. And hopefully this week we'll show you a better results, and we'll see you there.
How did people react when you first brought it to the drag race and before you start? Did the people like a little bit laughed at you and said, what? Like a pickup truck, you'll bring it as a drag truck?
Well, no, actually. In the drag racing world, you know, everything is interesting. You know, you can get a Mini Cooper that does a drag race. You know, everybody will wow it. You know, what's the small car that makes this speed? Now on this is a heavy duty car, you know, heavy duty metal.
And also the weight will not support it.
Yep.
Because,
So
for the big
we
one.
worked a lot on this. You know, we did, you know, chopped a lot of the metal out of it and replaced it with aluminum. We had to double the chassis. We had to build the roll cage from chrome moly metal, which is stronger and lighter than the normal metal. We had to build the front suspension, a total custom build. The rear end, we had to change it from the GMC, the 10 lugs, the heavy one, which is around 400 kg, the weight of them, to the Mustang. This is a Mustang rear end. So it made a lot of difference. I believe that we reduced the weight by around 800 kg.
Around 800 kg?
Yes.
So technically, only the shape is pickup truck.
Yep.
Everything else is not.
Yes.
Well, that's a special thing.
You can check the seats, and inside the car, it doesn't look like it looks like a race car.
So you have that extraordinary experience behind being a mechanical engineer, and also this hobby with you. I think it's changed your whole life.
Actually, it's part. It's not a part. It's my life. You know, my
It's
life.
your life.
It's built on
But there's
upgrading, and it doesn't have to be on cars only. Even boats, even motorcycles, even buildings. You know, when you try to modify things, change it. Sometimes we take. You know, this was a scrapped car. Nobody wanted to rebuild it
I
or
saw
do
it.
anything. So I had to regenerate the whole car. You know, this is the fun of it. I mean, taking something from scratch, taking something from nothing, and doing something out of it. Something that people will wow it. People will consider, yeah, this is something nice, something good.
It is something wonderful to see GMC Sierra in the drag race and accomplishing a lot. And saying of accomplishing, you have tournaments, many tournaments.
Yep.
That behind you, it's not all of it. It's not even the half of it,
No.
right?
Yeah, I've got a lot more than these, but these are the specials one, I would say.
The special to your heart.
Yeah. You know, when you ask me where do you participate your hobby, in Kuwait, 4 years ago, we had the Kuwait Motor Town ready for us. Before that, we used to participate outside of Kuwait, you know, for the big cars and
Where?
the Pro. Bahrain, Qatar, Yas, Bahrain Circuit, Qatar Drag, ADL, and then Yas Marine, Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. And also there is a Ream in KSA, Saudi Arabia. But in Kuwait, we did not have the Motor Town. Now we have it, so we practice all of them. This year we had 5, and we have 5 more rounds. So we're still gonna race for another 5 more rounds.
That's better.
Yeah, thank God for this year. I've got 2 trophies on the first. I got first on the 4.0, and I've got second on the 4.0 on the Pro Mod. This one had only 1 race, so hopefully next race we'll get some trophies.
The next race will make it, definitely.
Hopefully. The trophies, you know, I've had first place from Qatar, which was the 4.8, and then the Bahrain was a 4.5 trophy, first place. And then in Kuwait, I've got the 4.0 this year on the KMC trophy. Also, I had the only Kuwaiti trophy on a Pro Mod in Kuwait, which was in BMRC, our club.
When you were
made it.
racing the gold one.
That was on the semi-final. The final was a solo run.
But it was like the same thing.
It is.
It was the race.
Yes,
that
it
race.
is.
I've seen that videos. It was wonderful.
Flammable, we call it.
Flammable.
Yeah.
The exhaust, all of it are throwing a flame, and you were going in a fast. At first, I asked you, was you like speeding the video? You told me no. It was the normal speed.
This is the normal speed.
It was dangerous. It is dangerous.
Believe it or not, we can talk a little bit about this. You know, the car costs a lot, but half of the car cost is spent on safety. I can tell you things about it.
It's a good thing.
Yep. The metals that are used are special metal. There is 2 cylinders that are self-fire extinguisher cylinders. So if anything happens to the car, any fire, they will extinguish the car.
To turn off the fire immediately.
And they will push some gas onto the body of the driver to protect him from getting burned. The cage, the roll cage inside the car, is designed to fit perfectly the driver, that any hit come from a 360 that would not touch him. It's called a funny cage, and it looks funny. You know, if you go inside, it looks like a cage, and you are strapped into it with 5 points of seat belt. There is the chutes to stop the car. There is parachutes, you know, you have to open
parachutes.
them.
When you go so fast, the brake will never support it.
Well, it will support it, but it will get hot, it will get dangerous. So this is
30%
an
will
extra
support it, yeah.
Actually, yeah, or 40% support
40,
from the
50%.
chutes.
Because I've heard about that, yes.
The tires are custom-made tires for high speeds. They grip better. If you can see the bigger ones on top, they are safety measurement. You cannot use the tires more than, you know, some people say 25 runs, some people say 50 runs. It depends on the type or the compound of the tire and what type of run, heavy runs or light runs. A lot of other safety features, you know, we cannot mention them. The seat,
Yeah, if you want to talk about them,
it's going to take a long time.
It's going to take a long time. I hope that we have more time, but unfortunately we don't have any more time because I wanted to talk more and more, and it was really fun for me.
Thank you. I appreciate your time with us, and we appreciate what you're doing to us and supporting the hobbies in Kuwait. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And thank our viewers for watching this episode. Hope you liked it and enjoyed it, and see you in our next episodes.